Chapter 22. I wake up to the view of a cracked, grubby ceiling. My eye runs along to a huge cobweb in the corner of the room, then down the wall to a rickety bookshelf, stuffed with books, tapes, letters, old Christmas decorations, and the odd bit of discarded underwear. How did I live in this mess for 7 years? How did I not notice it? I push back the bed cover, get out of bed, and look around blearily. The carpet feels gritty under my feet, and I wince. It needs a good hoover. I guess the cleaners stopped coming after the money stopped appearing. There are clothes lying all over the floor, and I search around until I find a dressing gown. I wrap it around myself and head out to the kitchen. I'd forgotten how bare and cold and Spartan it was in here. There's nothing in the fridge, of course, but I find a chamomile tea bag and fill the kettle and perch on a bar stool looking out at the brick wall opposite. It's already 9:15. Ketterman will be at the office. He'll be taking whatever action he's going to take. In spite of everything, I feel weirdly calm. Matters are out of my hands now, and there's nothing further I can do. He listened to me. He actually listened and asked questions and even made me a cup of tea. I was there for over an hour. He didn't tell me what he thought or what he was going to do. He didn't even say whether he believed me or not. But the fact that he took me seriously made all the difference. The kettle's coming to a boil when the doorbell rings. I pull my dressing gown around me and pad out to the hall. Through the spy hole, I can see Mrs. Farley peering back at me, her arms laden with packages. Of course, who else? I open the door. "Hello, Mrs. Farley." "Samantha, I thought it was you," she exclaims. "After all this time, I had no idea. I didn't know what to think." "I've been away." I muster a neighborly smile. "I'm sorry I didn't let you know I was going away, but I didn't really have any warning myself." "I see." Mrs. Farley's eyes are darting all around, at my blonde hair, at my face, and past me into the flat as though searching for clues. "Thanks for taking in my parcels." I hold out my hands. "Shall I?" "Oh, of course." She hands over a couple of jiffy bags and a cardboard box, still obviously avid with curiosity. I suppose these high-powered jobs do send you girls abroad with no notice. "I haven't been abroad." I put the boxes down. "Thanks again." "Oh, it's no trouble. I know what it's like when you've had a difficult family time," she hazards. "I haven't had a difficult family time," I say politely. "Of course not." She clears her throat. "Well, anyway, you're back now from whatever you've been doing." "Mrs. Farley," I try to keep a straight face, "would you like to know where I've been?" Mrs. Farley recoils. "Dear me, no. It's absolutely none of my business, really. I wouldn't dream of..." I must be getting on. She starts backing away. "Thanks again," I call as she disappears back into her flat. I'm just closing the door as the phone rings. I pick up the receiver, suddenly wondering how many people must have rung this number over the last few weeks. The machine is crammed with messages, but after listening to the first 3, all from Mom, and each more furious than the last, I gave up. "Hello?" "Samantha," comes a businesslike voice. "John Ketterman here." "Oh." Suddenly my calmness is replaced by a serious case of nerves. "Hi." "I'd like to ask that you keep yourself available today. It may be necessary for you to speak to some people. People? There's a slight pause, then Ketterman says, investigators. Oh my gosh. I feel like punching the air or bursting into tears, but somehow I keep my composure. So have you found something out? I can't say anything at the moment. Ketterman sounds as distant and formal as ever. I just need to know that you'll be available. Of course. Where will I have to go? We'd like you to come here to the Carter Spink offices, he says, without any trace of irony. I look at the phone, almost wanting to laugh. Would that be the same Carter Spink offices I was thrown out of yesterday? I feel like saying. The same Carter Spink offices I've been banned from. I'll call you, adds Ketterman. Keep your mobile with you. It could be a few hours. Okay, I will. I take a deep breath, and please just tell me. You don't have to go into specifics, but was my theory right? There is a crackling silence down the phone. I can't breathe. Not in every detail, says Ketterman at last, and I feel a painful thrill of triumph. That means I was right with some details, at least. The phone goes dead. I put the receiver down and look at my reflection in the hall mirror, my eyes bright. I was right, and they know it. They'll offer me my job back, it suddenly hits me. They'll offer me partnership. At the thought, I'm seized with excitement, and at the same time, a kind of fear. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I walk into the kitchen, keyed up, unable to stand still. What the hell am I going to do for the next few hours? I pour hot water onto my chamomile tea bag and stir it around with the spoon. And then I have an idea. It takes only 20 minutes to pop out and get what I need. Butter, eggs, flour, vanilla, icing sugar, baking tins, mixers, a set of scales, everything in fact. I cannot believe how badly equipped my kitchen is. How did I ever do any cooking in here? Well, I didn't. I don't have an apron, so I improvise with an old t-shirt. I don't have a mixing bowl, and I forgot to buy one. So I use the plastic basin given to me as part of an aromatherapy kit. 2 hours of whisking and baking later, I've produced a cake. 3 tiers of vanilla sponge, sandwiched with buttercream, iced with lemon glaze, and decorated with sugar flowers. I take it in with a glow of satisfaction. This is my 5th cake ever, and the first time I've done more than 2 tiers. I take off my old shirt, check that my mobile is in my pocket, pick up the cake, and head out of the flat. As Mrs. Farley answers the doorbell, she looks startled to see me. Hi, I say. I've brought you something to say thank you for looking after my post. Oh? She looks at the cake in astonishment. Samantha, that must have been expensive. I didn't buy it, I say proudly. I made it. Mrs. Farley looks staggered. You made it? Uh-huh, I beam. Shall I bring it in and make you some coffee? Mrs. Farley looks too thunderstruck to answer, so I head past her into the flat. To my shame, I realized I haven't been in here before. In 3 years of knowing her, I never once set foot over the threshold. The place is immaculately kept, full of little side tables and antiques, and a bowl of rose petals on the coffee table. You sit down, I say. I'll find what I need in the kitchen. Still looking dazed, Mrs. Farley sinks into an upholstered wing chair. Please, she says faintly, don't break anything. I'm not going to break anything. Would you like frothy milk, and do you have any nutmeg? 10 minutes later, I emerge from the kitchen bearing 2 coffees and the cake. Here, I cut Mrs. Farley a slice. See what you think. Mrs. Farley takes the plate. You made this, she says at last. Yes. Mrs. Farley takes the slice to her mouth, then she pauses, an anxious expression on her face. It's safe, I say, and take a bite of my own slice. See, I know how to cook, honestly. Mrs. Farley takes a tiny bite. As she's chewing, her eyes meet mine in astonishment. It's delicious. So light. You really made this? I whisk the egg whites separately, I explain. It keeps cakes really light. I can give you the recipe if you like. Have some coffee. I hand her a cup. I used your electric beater for the milk, if that's okay. It works fine, if you get it to just the right temperature. Mrs. Farley is gazing at me as though I'm talking gobbledygook. Samantha, she says at last, where have you been these last weeks? I've been away somewhere. My eye falls on a duster and can of Pledge sitting on a side table. She must have been in the middle of cleaning when I rang. I wouldn't use those dusters if I were you, I add politely. I can recommend some better ones. Mrs. Farley puts down her cup and leans forward in her chair. Her brow is wrinkled in concern. Samantha, you haven't joined some sort of religion? No, I can't help laughing at her face. I've just been doing something different. More coffee? I head into the kitchen and froth up some more milk. When I return to the sitting room, Mrs. Farley is on her second slice of cake. This is very good, she says between bites. Thank you. Well, I shrug, a little awkward. Thanks for looking out for me all that time. Mrs. Farley finishes her cake, puts her plate down, and regards me for a few moments, her head cocked to one side, like a bird. Dear, she says finally, I don't know where you've been or what you're doing, but whatever it is, you're transformed. I know my hair's different, I begin, but Mrs. Farley shakes her head. I used to see you rushing in and out, arriving home late at night, always looking so weary, so troubled. And I used to think you looked like the empty shell of a person, like a dried up leaf, a husk. A dried up leaf, I think in indignation, a husk? But now you've blossomed. You look fitter, you look healthier, you look happy. She puts her cup down and leans forward. Whatever you've been doing, dear, you look wonderful. Oh, well, thanks, I say bashfully. I suppose I do feel different. I suppose I'm more relaxed these days. I take a sip of coffee and lean back in my chair, mulling it over. I enjoy life a bit more than I used to, and notice more than I used to. You haven't noticed your phone's ringing, Mrs. Farley interrupts mildly, nodding at my pocket. Oh, I say in surprise and grab my phone. I should get this, excuse me. I flip it open and immediately hear Ketterman's voice in my ear. Samantha. I spent 3 hours at the Carter Spink offices, talking in turn to a man from the Law Society, 2 of the senior partners, and a guy from Third Union Bank. By the time we finish, I feel drained from repeating the same things over and over to the same carefully blank faces. The office lights are making my head ache. I'd forgotten how airless and dry the atmosphere is here. I still haven't worked out exactly what's going on. Lawyers are so bloody discreet. I know someone's been to see Arnold at his home, and that's about it. But even if no one's going to admit it, I know I was right. I've been vindicated. After the last interview, a plate of sandwiches is brought to the small conference room. I'm in, together with a bottle of mineral water and a muffin. I get to my feet, stretch out my arms, and wander over to the window. I feel like a prisoner in here. There's a tapping at the door, and Ketterman comes into the room. Have we finished yet? I say. We may need to speak to you again. He gestures to the sandwiches. Have something to eat. I cannot stay in this room a moment longer. I have to stretch my legs at least. I'll just go and freshen up first, I say, and hurry out of the room before you can object. As I enter the ladies, all the women in there stop talking immediately. I disappear into a cubicle and hear the sound of excited whisperings and murmurings outside. As I come out again, not one person has left the room. I can feel all the eyes on me, like sun lamps. So, are you back now, Samantha? Says an associate called Lucy. Is it true that you are a waitress? Chimes in a secretary from litigation. Not exactly. I turn away to the sink, feeling self-conscious. You look so different, says another girl. Your arms, says Lucy as I wash my hands. They're so brown and toned. Have you been to a spa? No. I pull down some paper towel, but thanks. So, how's life been here? Good. Lucy nods a few times. Really busy. Clocked up 66 billable hours last week, 2 all-nighters. I had 3, puts in another girl. I can see the pride in her face and the dark gray shadows under her eyes. Is that what I used to look like? All pale and strained and tense? Great, I say, politely, drying my hands. Well, I'd better get back now. See you. I exit the ladies and I'm walking back to the conference room, lost in my own thoughts, when I hear a voice. Oh my gosh, Samantha. Guy. I look up in shock to see him hurrying down the corridor toward me, his smile even more dazzling than ever. I wasn't expecting to see Guy here. In fact, I feel a bit thrown by the sight of him. Wow, he grips my shoulders tightly and scans my face. You look fantastic. I thought you were in Hong Kong. Got back this morning. I've just been briefed on the situation. Bloody hell, Samantha, it's incredible. He lowers his voice. Only you could work all that out. Arnold, of all people. I was shell-shocked. Everyone is. Those who know, he adds, lowering his voice still further. Obviously, it's not out yet. I don't even know what the situation is, I reply, with a touch of resentment. No one's telling me anything. Well, they will. Guy reaches into his pocket, gets out his BlackBerry, and squints at it. You are flavor of the month right now. I knew it all along. He looks up. I knew you could never make a mistake. What? How can he say that? No, you didn't, I reply at last, finding my words. No, you didn't. If you remember, you said I'd made errors. You said I was unreliable. I can feel all the old hurt and humiliation starting to rise again and look away. I said other people had said you made errors. Guy pauses and taps me at his BlackBerry and looks up, frowning. Shit, Samantha. I did stand up for you. I was on your side. Ask anyone. That's why you wouldn't have me to stay. But I don't say anything out loud. I really don't want to get into it. It's history. Fine, I say at last. Whatever. We start walking along the corridor together. Guy still engrossed in the BlackBerry. Gosh, he's addicted to that thing, I think with slight irritation. So where the hell did you disappear to? At last he stops tapping. What have you been doing all this time? You're not really a waitress. No, I can't help smiling at his expression. I'm not. I've got a job. I knew you'd get snapped up, he nods with satisfaction. Who's employed you? No one you'd know. You're in the same area, though? He puts his BlackBerry away. Doing the same kind of work? I have a sudden vision of me in my blue nylon overall, mopping Trisha's bathroom floor. As it happens, not really. Somehow I keep a straight face. Guy seems surprised. But you're still in banking law, right? Don't tell me you've made a complete change. He suddenly looks galvanized. You haven't gone into commercial law, have you? No, not commercial law. I'd better go. I cut him off and open the door to the interview room. See you later. I eat my sandwiches. I drink my mineral water. For half an hour, no one disturbs me. I feel a bit like I'm in quarantine for some deadly illness. They could have given me some magazines at least. I've developed quite a habit for gossip after being surrounded by Trisha's endless supply of heat and hello. At last I hear a knock at the door and Ketterman comes in. Samantha, we would like to see you in the boardroom. The boardroom? I follow Ketterman down the corridors, aware of the nudges and whisperings from everyone we pass. He opens the huge double doors to the boardroom, and I walk in to see about half the partners standing there waiting for me. There's silence as Ketterman closes the doors. I glance at Guy, who grins back encouragingly but says nothing. Am I supposed to speak? Did I miss the instructions? Ketterman has joined the group of partners. Now he turns to face me. Samantha, as you know, an investigation of recent events is underway. The results have not yet been fully determined. He breaks off, looking tense, and I can see some of the others exchanging sober looks. However, we have come to one conclusion. You were wronged. I'm stupefied. He's admitting it. Getting a lawyer to admit they've made a mistake is like getting a movie star to admit they had liposuction. I'm sorry, I say, just to force him to repeat it. You were wronged. Ketterman frowns, clearly not enjoying this part of the conversation at all. I almost want to laugh. I was wrong, I hazard, looking puzzled. Wronged, he snaps, wronged. Oh, wronged. Well, thank you. I smile politely. I appreciate that. They'll probably offer me some kind of bonus, it crosses my mind. A luxury gift basket, or even a holiday. And therefore, Ketterman pauses, we would like to offer you full equity partnership in the firm, effective immediately. I'm so shocked I nearly sit down on the floor. Full equity partnership? I open my mouth, but I can't speak. I feel winded. I look around helplessly, like a fish on the end of a line. Full equity partnership is the highest pinnacle, way above the first rung of partnership. It's the most prestigious job in law. I never, ever expected that. Welcome back, Samantha, says Greg Parker. Welcome back, chime in a few others. David Eldridge gives me a warm smile. Guy gives me the thumbs up. We have some champagne, Ketterman nods to Guy, who opens the double doors. The next moment, two waitresses from the partners' dining room are coming in with trays of champagne glasses. Someone puts one in my hand. This is all going too fast. Excuse me, I call out. I haven't actually said if I'll accept it. The whole room seems to freeze, like a videotape on pause. I'm sorry? Ketterman turns to me. Oh, gosh. I'm not sure they're going to take this very well. The thing is, I break off and take a sip of champagne for Dutch courage, trying to work out how to put this tactfully. I've been thinking about it all day, over and over. Being a partner at Carter Spink is the dream I've had all my adult life. The glittering prize. It's everything I ever wanted. Except all the things I never knew I wanted. Things I had no idea about until a few weeks ago. Like fresh air, like evenings off, unburdened weekends, making plans with friends, sitting in the pub after my work is done, drinking cider, with nothing to do, nothing hanging over me. Even if they're offering me full equity partnership, it doesn't change the way I feel. It doesn't change me. Mrs. Farley was right. I've blossomed. I'm not a husk anymore. Why would I go back to being a husk? I clear my throat. It's a tremendous honor to be offered such an amazing opportunity, I say earnestly, and I'm very grateful, truly. However, the reason I came back wasn't to get my job back, it was to clear my name, to prove that I didn't make a mistake. I can't help shooting a look at Guy. The truth is, since leaving Carter Spink, I've, moved on. I have a job, which I very much enjoy, so I won't be taking up your offer. There's a stunned silence. Thank you, I add again, politely, and, thanks for the champagne. Is she serious? Says someone at the back. Ketterman and Eldridge are exchanging frowns. Samantha, says Ketterman, coming forward. You may have found opportunities elsewhere, but you are a Carter Spink lawyer. This is where you train. This is where you belong. If it's a question of salary, adds Eldridge, sure we can match whatever you're currently... He glances at Guy. Which law firm has she gone to? Wherever you are, I'll speak to the senior partner, says Ketterman in a businesslike way. The personnel director, whoever would be appropriate, will sort this out if you give me a number. He's taking out his BlackBerry. My mouth twists. I desperately want to laugh. There isn't a personnel director, I explain, or a senior partner. There isn't a senior partner? Ketterman looks impatient. How can there not be a senior partner? I never said I was working as a lawyer. It's as if I've said I think the world is flat. I've never seen so many flummoxed faces in my life. You're not working as a lawyer? Says Eldridge at last. What are you working as then? I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but on the other hand, why shouldn't they know? I'm working as a housekeeper, I smile. Housekeeper? Eldridge peers at me. Is that the new jargon for troubleshooter? I can't keep up with these ridiculous job titles. You're on the compliance side? Says Ketterman. Is that what you mean? No, it's not what I mean, I say patiently. I'm a housekeeper. I make beds. I cook meals. I'm a domestic. Gosh, I wish I had a camera. Their faces. You're literally a housekeeper? Stutters Eldridge at last. Uh-huh, I look at my watch. And I'm fulfilled, and I'm relaxed, and I'm happy. In fact, I should be getting back. Thank you, I add to Ketterman, for listening to me. You're the only one who did. You're turning down our offer? Says Oliver Swan incredulously. I'm turning down your offer. I give an apologetic shrug. Sorry. Bye, everyone. As I head out of the room, I feel slightly wobbly, about the legs, and slightly manic inside, I turned it down. I turned down full equity partnership of Carter Spink. What the hell is my mother going to say? The thought makes me want to burst into hysterical laughter. I feel too keyed up to wait for the lift, so I head down the stairwell, clattering down the cold stone steps. Samantha! Guy's voice suddenly echoes above me. Oh, honestly, what does he want? I'm going, I yell back. Leave me alone. You can't go. I can hear him accelerating down the steps, so I pick up speed myself. I've said my piece. What more is there to talk about? My shoes are clacking on the steps as I tear down, gripping on the handrail for balance, but even so, Guy's gaining on me. Samantha, this is crazy. No, it's not. I can't let you ruin your career out of Peek, he calls, and I wheel around indignantly, nearly falling down the stairs. I'm not doing this out of pique. I know you're angry with us all. Guy joins me on the staircase, breathing hard. I'm sure it makes you feel really good to turn us down, to say you're working as a housekeeper. I am working as a housekeeper, I retort, and I'm not turning you down because I'm angry. I'm turning you down because I don't want the job. Samantha, you wanted partnership more than anything else in the world. Guy grabs my arm. I know you did. You've worked for it for all these years. You can't throw it away. It's too valuable. What if I don't value it anymore? It's been less than 2 months. Everything can't have changed. It has. I have. Guy shakes his head in disbelief. You're really serious about the housekeeper thing. I'm really serious, I snap. What's wrong with being a housekeeper? Oh, for goodness, he stops himself. Look, Samantha, come upstairs. We'll talk about it. The Human Resources Department has come on board. You lost your job. You were badly treated. It's no wonder you can't think straight. They're suggesting counseling. I don't need counseling. I turn on my heel and start down the stairs again. Just because I don't want to be a lawyer, what, I'm crazy? I reach the bottom of the stairwell and burst into the foyer with Guy in hot pursuit. Hillary Grant, head of PR, is sitting on a leather sofa with some red-suited woman I don't recognize, and they both look up in surprise. Samantha, you cannot do this. Guy is shouting after me as he emerges into the foyer. You are one of the most talented lawyers I know. I cannot let you turn down partnership to be a fucking housekeeper. Why not, if it's what I want to do? I come to a halt on the marble and spin round to face him. Guy, I found out what it's like to have a life. I found out what it's like not working every weekend, not feeling pressure all the time, and I like it. Guy isn't listening to a word I say. He doesn't even want to understand. You're going to stand there and tell me you prefer cleaning loos to being a partner at Carter Spink? His face is flushed with outrage. Yes, I say defiantly, yes, I do. Who's that? Says the woman in the red suit with interest. Samantha, you're making the biggest mistake of your entire existence. Guy's voice follows me as I reach the glass doors. If you walk out now, I don't wait to hear any more. I'm out the door, down the steps, gone. You're making the biggest mistake of your entire existence. As I sit on the train back to Gloucestershire, Guy's words keep ringing in my ears. Once upon a time, just that thought would have sent me into a tailspin. But not anymore. He has no idea. If I've learned one lesson from all that's happened to me, it's that there is no such thing as the biggest mistake of your existence. There's no such thing as ruining your life. Life's a pretty resilient thing, it turns out. When I arrive at Lower Ebury, I head straight to the pub. Nathaniel is behind the bar wearing a chambray shirt I've never seen before, talking to Eamon. For a few moments, I just watch him from the doorway. His strong hands, the slant of his neck, the way his brow furrows as he nods. I can tell at once he disagrees with whatever Eamon is saying. But he's waiting, wanting to be tactful about making his point. He knows how people work. As if he can sense me watching him, he looks up and his face jolts. He smiles in welcome, but I can see the tension underneath. This last couple of days can't have been easy for him. Maybe he thought I'd get suckered into my old relationship, that I wasn't coming back. A roar goes up from the dartboard. Bill, a local farmer I've gotten to know, turns and spots me walking toward the bar. "Samantha," he shouts, "at last! We need you on our team." In a sec, I call over my shoulder. "Hi," I say as I reach Nathaniel. "Nice shirt." "Hi," he says casually. "Good trip?" "Not bad," I nod. Nathaniel lifts up the bar for me to come through, his eyes searching my face as though for clues. "So, is it over?" "Yes," I put my arms around him and hug him tight. "It's over." And at that moment, I truly believe it is. Chapter 23. Nothing happens until lunchtime the next day. I make the breakfast for Trish and Eddie as usual. I hoover and dust as usual. Then I put on Iris's apron, get out the chopping board, and start squeezing oranges. I'm going to make bitter chocolate and orange mousse for the charity lunch tomorrow. We're going to serve it on a bed of crystallized orange slices, and each plate is going to be garnished with a real silver leaf angel from a Christmas decoration catalog. This was Trish's idea, as are the angels hanging from the ceiling. "How are we doing?" Trish comes tapping into the kitchen, looking flustered. "Have you made the mousses yet?" "Not yet," I say, briskly squeezing an orange. "Mrs. Geiger, don't worry, it's all under control." "Do you know what I've been through the last few days?" She clutches her head. "More and more people keep accepting I've had to change the seating plan." "It'll be fine," I say soothingly. "Try to relax." "Yes," she sighs, holding her head between two lacquered fingernails. "You're right. I'll just go and check the goodie bags." I cannot believe how much Trish is spending on this lunch. Every time I question whether we really need to canopy the dining room in white silk or give every guest an orchid buttonhole, she shrills, "It's all in a good cause." Which reminds me of something I've been meaning to ask her for quite a while now. "Mrs. Geiger," I say casually, "are you charging your guests for entrance to the lunch?" "Oh, no," she says. "I think that's rather tacky, don't you?" "Are you holding a raffle?" "I don't think so." She wrinkles her nose. "People loathe raffles." I hardly dare ask this next question. "So, how exactly are you planning on making money for Save the Children?" There's silence in the kitchen. Trish has frozen, her eyes wide. "Bugger," she says at last. I knew it. She hadn't given it a thought. Somehow I managed to keep my respectful housekeeper's expression. "Perhaps we could ask for voluntary donations," I suggest. "We could hand round a little bag with the coffee and mints." Yes. Trish peers at me as though I'm a genius. "That's the answer." She exhales sharply. This is really very stressful, Samantha. I don't know how you stay so calm. Oh, I don't know. I feel a sudden wave of fondness for her. When I arrived back at the house last night, it was like coming home. Even though Trish had left a mountain of dirty crockery on the counter for my return and a note saying, Samantha, please polish all silverware for luncheon. Please polish all silver for luncheon. Trish heads out of the kitchen and I start whisking up egg whites for the mousse. Then I notice a man settling down the drive. He's wearing jeans and an old polo shirt and has a camera slung around his neck. He disappears from view and I frown in puzzlement. Maybe he's a delivery man. I measure out the castor sugar with half an ear out for the doorbell and start folding it into the egg whites, just the way Iris taught me. Then, suddenly, the man is standing at the kitchen door, peering in through the window. I'm not ruining my mixture for some door-to-door salesman. He can wait a few moments. I finish folding in the sugar, then head to the door and open it. Can I help? I say politely. Are you Samantha Sweeting? He says, glancing down at a folded-up tabloid newspaper in his hand. I look back at him warily. Why? I'm from the Cheltenham Gazette. He flashes an ID card at me. I'm after an exclusive interview with you. Why I chose the Cotswolds as my secret hideaway, that kind of thing. I look at him blankly for a few seconds. What are you talking about? You haven't seen it? He looks surprised. Haven't your friends been on the phone? No, at least I don't know, I say confused. My mobile phone's upstairs in my bedroom. If it has been ringing, I haven't heard it. I take it this is you? He turns the newspaper around, and my stomach seizes up. It's a picture of me in the Daily World, a national tabloid. It's my official Carter Spink portrait. I'm wearing a black suit, and my hair is screwed up. Above it, in bold black letters, is the headline, I'd rather clean loose than be a partner at Carter Spink. What the hell is going on? With trembling hands, I grab the paper from the guy and scan the text. They are the masters of the universe, the envy of their peers. Top law firm Carter Spink is the most prestigious in the country. But yesterday, one young woman turned down a high-ranking post as partner in order to work as a humble housekeeper. Get a life. Partners were left with egg on their faces as star 500-pound an hour lawyer Samantha Sweeting rejected their offer, which carried a substantial 6-figure salary. Having previously been fired, the high flyer apparently uncovered a financial scandal at the firm. However, when offered full equity partnership, Sweeting cited the pressure and lack of free time as reason for her decision. I've got used to having a life, she said as partners begged her to stay. A former Carter Spink employee who declined to be named confirmed the brutal working conditions of the legal firm. They expect you to sell your soul, he said. I had to resign from stress. No wonder she prefers manual labor. A spokeswoman for Carter Spink defended the firm's practices. We are a flexible, modern firm with a sympathetic working ethos. We would like to talk to Samantha about her views and would certainly not expect employees to, quote-unquote, sell their soul. Vanished. She confirmed that Ms. Sweeting's job offer is still open, and Carter Spink partners are anxious to talk to her. However, in a further extraordinary twist, this modern-day Cinderella has not been seen since running away from the offices. Where is she? See comment, page 34. I peer at it in a daze. See comment, there's more. With fumbling hands, I turn to page 34. The price of success. Too high? A high-flying lawyer with everything ahead of her gives up a 6-figure salary and turns to domestic drudgery instead. What does this story say about today's high-pressure society? Are our career women being pushed too hard? Are they burning out? Does this extraordinary story herald the start of a new trend? One thing is for certain, only Samantha Sweeting can answer. I stare at the page, numb. How? A flash interrupts me, and I lift my head to see the guy pointing his camera at me. Stop, I say, putting my hands up in front of my face. Can I have a picture of you holding a toilet brush, love? He says, zooming his lens in. It was a waitress in Cheltenham, pointed me in the right direction. Reckon she'd worked with you. Quite a scoop. The camera flashes again, and I flinch. No, you've made a mistake. I shove the paper back at him in a mess of pages. My name's Sarah. I'm not a lawyer. Whatever that waitress said, she was wrong. The journalist looks at me suspiciously and down at the photo again. I can see a flicker of doubt cross his face. I do look fairly different now from the way I did then, with my blonde hair and everything. Please leave, I say. My employers won't like it. I wait until he steps off the doorstep and slam the door shut and turn the key. Then I pull the curtain across the window and lean back against the door, my heart thudding. Fuck. What am I going to do? Okay, the important thing is not to panic. The important thing is to stay rational. On the one hand, my entire past has been exposed in a national tabloid. On the other hand, Trish and Eddie don't read that particular tabloid or the Cheltenham Gazette. It's one silly story in one silly paper, and it will die away by tomorrow. There's no reason to tell them anything. There's no need to rock the boat. I'll just carry on making my chocolate orange mousses as though nothing has happened. Yes, total denial is the way forward. Feeling slightly better, I reach for the chocolate and start breaking chunks into a glass bowl. Samantha, who is that? Trish pokes her head round the door. No one. I look up with a fixed smile. Nothing. Why don't I make you a cup of coffee and bring it out to the garden? Keep calm. Denial. It'll all be fine. Okay, denial's not going to work because there are 3 more journalists in the drive. It's 20 minutes later. I've abandoned my chocolate mousses and am peering out the hall window in rising dismay. 2 blokes and a girl have appeared out of nowhere. They all have cameras and are chatting to the guy in the polo shirt who's gesticulating toward the kitchen. Occasionally one of them breaks off and takes a shot of the house. Any minute one of them is going to ring the doorbell. I cannot let this develop. I need a new plan. I need diversion. Yes, at least it might buy me some time. I head to the front door, grabbing one of Trisha's floppy straw hats on the way. Then I cautiously step outside and make my way down the gravel drive to the entrance, where the 4 journalists crowd around me. Are you Samantha Sweeting? Says one, thrusting a tape recorder in my face. Do you regret turning down partnership? Demands another. My name's Sarah, I say, keeping my head down. You've got the wrong girl. Kindly leave the premises at once. I wait for the stampede, but no one moves. You've all made a mistake, I try again. If you don't leave, I'll call the police. One of the journalists peers under the brim of Trisha's hat. It's her, he says scornfully. Ned, it's her. Come over here. She's there. She's come out. It's her. I hear voices from across the street, and aghast, I see another load of journalists suddenly appear, hurrying down the road toward the gates, bearing cameras and dictaphones. Fuck, where did they come from? Ms. Sweeting, Angus Watts, Daily Express. Black glasses guy lifts up his microphone. Do you have a message for young women of today? Do you really enjoy cleaning toilets? Chimes in someone else, snapping a camera in my face. What brand of toilet cleaner do you use? Stop it, I say, flustered. Leave me alone. I haul at the iron gates until they're closed, then turn and run up the drive, into the house and into the kitchen. What am I going to do? What? I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirrored fridge. My face is flushed and my expression wild. I'm also still wearing Trish's floppy straw hat. I grab it off my head and dump it on the table just as Trish comes into the kitchen. She's holding a book called Your Elegant Luncheon Party and an empty coffee cup. Do you know what's going on, Samantha? She says. There seems a bit of a commotion outside in the road. Is there? I say. I hadn't noticed. It looks like a protest. She wrinkles her brow. I do hope they're not still there tomorrow. Protesters are so selfish. Her eye falls on the counter. Haven't you finished the mousses yet? Samantha, really? What have you been doing? Nothing. I reach for the bowl and start doling out chocolate mixture into molds. I'm just getting on with them, Mrs. Geisher. I feel like I'm in some kind of parallel reality. Everything's going to come out. It's a matter of time. What do I do? Have you seen this protest? Trish demands as Eddie saunters into the kitchen. Outside our gates. I think we should tell them to move on. It's not a protest, he says, opening the fridge and peering inside. It's journalists. Journalists? Trish peers at him. What on earth would journalists be doing here? Maybe we have a new celebrity neighbor, suggests Eddie, pouring his beer into a glass. At once, Trish claps her hand over her mouth. Joanna Lernley. I heard a rumor she was buying in the village. Samantha, have you heard anything about this? No, I mumble, my face burning. I have to say something, but what? Where do I start? Samantha, I need this shirt ironed by tonight. Melissa comes wandering into the kitchen, holding a sleeveless print shirt. And be really careful with the collar, okay? What's going on outside? Nobody knows, says Trish, looking beside herself. But we think it's Joanna Lumley. Oh, no, Lumley. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. For a moment, I consider bolting out the back door. I wonder if that's them, exclaims Trish. Eddie, go and answer it. Samantha, put on some coffee. She looks at me in impatience. Come on. I need to explain, but I'm totally paralyzed. Samantha, she peers at me. Are you all right? With an almighty effort, I look up. Mrs. Geiger. My voice comes out, a nervous husk. There's something I ought to... Melissa! Eddie's voice interrupts me. He's hurrying into the kitchen, a huge smile spread across his face. Melissa, love, they want you. Me? Melissa looks up in surprise. What do you mean, Uncle Eddie? It's the Daily Mail. They want to interview you. Eddie turns to Trish, glowing with pride. Did you know that our Melissa has one of the finest legal brains in the country? Oh, no. Oh, no. What? Trish nearly drops her copy of Your Elegant Luncheon Party. That's what they said, Eddie nods. They said it might come as Quite a surprise to me to learn we had such a high-flying lawyer in the house. I said, nonsense. He puts an arm around Melissa. We've always known you were a star. Mrs. Geiger, I say urgently. No one takes any notice of me. It must be that prize I won at law school. They must have heard about it somehow, Melissa's gasping. Oh my gosh, the Daily Mail. They want to take photos too, puts in Eddie. They want an exclusive. I need to put on some makeup. Melissa looks totally flustered. How do I look? Here we are. Trisha wrenches open her handbag. Here's some mascara and lipstick. I have to stop this. I have to break it to them. Mr. Geiger, I clear my throat. Are you sure? Did they ask for Melissa by name? They didn't need to, he twinkles at me. Only one lawyer in this house. Make some coffee, Samantha, instructs Trish sharply, and use the pink cups quickly. Wash them up. The thing is, I have something to tell you. Now, Samantha, wash up those cups. Trish thrusts the rubber gloves at me. I don't know what's wrong with you today. But I don't think they've come to see Melissa, I say desperately. There's something I should have told you. No one pays any attention. They're all focused on Melissa. How do I look? Melissa smooths her hair back self-consciously. Lovely, darling. Trish leans forward. Just a touch more lipstick. Make you look really glamorous. Is she ready for the interview? An unfamiliar woman's voice comes from the kitchen door, and everyone freezes in excitement. In here, Eddie pulls open the door to reveal a dark-haired, middle-aged woman in a trouser suit, whose eyes immediately run appraisingly over the kitchen. Here's our legal star. Eddie gestures to Melissa with a beam of pride. Hello. Melissa tosses back her hair, then steps forward with an outstretched hand. I'm Melissa Hurst. The woman looks at Melissa blankly for a few moments. Not her, she says. Her. And she points at me. In puzzled silence, everyone turns to stare at me. Melissa's eyes have narrowed in deepest suspicion. I can see the Geisers exchanging glances. That's Samantha, says Trish, looking perplexed, the housekeeper. You're Samantha Sweeting, I take it? The woman brings out her reporter's pad. Can I ask you a few questions? You want to interview the housekeeper, says Melissa, with a sarcastic laugh. The journalist ignores her. You are Samantha Sweeting, aren't you? She persists. Yes, I admit at last. But I don't want to do an interview. I don't have any comment. Comment? Trish's eyes dart around uncertainly. Comment on what? What's going on, Samantha, love? Eddie looks anxious. Are you in some kind of trouble? You haven't told them? The Daily Mail journalist looks up from her notepad. They have no idea? Told us what? Says Trish, agitated. What? She's an illegal immigrant, says Melissa in tones of triumph. I knew it. I knew there was something. Your housekeeper is a top city lawyer. The woman throws down a copy of the Daily World onto the kitchen table. And she's just turned down a 6-figure partnership to work for you. It's as though someone's thrown a grenade into the kitchen. Eddie visibly reels. Trish totters on her high-heeled clogs and grabs a chair for balance. Melissa's face looks like a popped balloon. I meant to tell you, I bite my lip awkwardly as I look around the faces. I was getting round to it. Trish's eyes are bulging as she reads the Daily World headline. Her mouth is opening and closing, but no sound is coming out. You're a lawyer? She stutters at last. Not just any old lawyer, chimes in the journalist, consulting her notes. Highest law degree of her year. Youngest ever partner of Carter Spink. You're a partner at Carter Spink? Stutters Melissa. No, I say. I mean, well, kind of. Can I make anyone a cup of tea? I add desperately. No one is interested in tea. Do you have any idea your housekeeper has an IQ of 158? The journalist is clearly loving this. She's a genius. We knew she was bright, says Eddie, defensive. We spotted that. We were helping her with her... He breaks off, looking foolish. With her English GCSE. And I'm really grateful, I put in hurriedly. Really? Eddie mops his brow with a tea towel. Trish is still clutching the chair as though she might keel over any minute. I don't understand. Eddie suddenly puts the tea towel down and turns to me. How did you combine being a lawyer with the housekeeping? Yes, exclaims Trish, coming to life. Exactly. How on earth could you be a city lawyer and still have time to train with Michel de la Rue de la Blanc? Oh gosh, they still don't get it. I'm not really a housekeeper, I say desperately. I'm not really a cordon bleu cook. Michel de la Rue de la Blanc doesn't exist. I have no idea what this thing is really called. I pick up the truffle beater which is lying on the side. I'm a fake. I can't look at either of them. Suddenly I feel terrible. I'll understand if you want me to leave, I mumble. I took the job under false pretenses. Leave? Trish looks horrified. We don't want you to leave, do we, Eddie? Absolutely not, he says, rallying himself. You've done a fine job, Samantha. You can't help it if you're a lawyer. I'm a fake, says the journalist, writing it carefully down in her notepad. Do you feel guilty about that, Ms. Sweeting? Stop it, I say. I'm not doing an interview. Ms. Sweeting says she'd rather clean loos than be a partner at Carter Spink, says the journalist, turning to Trish. Could I see the loos in question? Our loos? Spots of pink appear on Trish's cheeks, and she gives me an uncertain glance. Well, we did have the bathrooms refitted recently. They're all Royal Doulton. How many are there? The journalist looks up from her notepad. Stop this. I clutch my hair. Look, I'll make a statement to the press, and then I want you all to leave me and my employers alone. I hurry out of the kitchen, the Daily Mail woman following behind, and fling open the front door. The crowd of journalists is still there behind the gate. Is it my imagination, or are there more than before? It's Sarah, says the guy in black glasses sardonically as I approach them. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I begin. I would be grateful if you would leave me alone. There isn't any story here. Are you going to stay as a housekeeper? Calls a fat guy in jeans. Yes, I am. I lift my chin. I've made a personal choice for personal reasons, and I'm very happy here. What about feminism? Demands the young girl. Women have fought for years to gain an equal foothold. Now you're telling them they should go back to the kitchen? I'm not telling women anything, I say, taken aback. I'm just leading my own life. But you think there's nothing wrong with women being chained to the kitchen sink? A gray-haired woman glares at me. I'm not chained. I get paid for what I do, and I choose to... My answer is drowned out by a barrage of questions and flashing cameras. Was Carter Spink a sexist hellhole? Is this a bargaining ploy? Do you think women should have careers? We'd like to offer you a regular column on household hints, says a chirpy blonde girl in a blue Mac. We want to call it Samantha Says. What? I gape at her. I don't have any household hints. A recipe then? She beams. Your favorite dish? Could you pose for us in your penny? Calls out the fat guy with the lascivious wink. No, I say in horror. I have nothing else to say. No comment. Go away. Ignoring the cries and shouts of Samantha, I turn and run with trembling legs back up the drive to the house. The world is mad. I burst into the kitchen to find Trish, Eddie, and Melissa transfixed in front of the Daily World. Oh no, I say, my heart plunging. Don't read it. Honestly, it's just stupid tabloid. All three of them raise their heads and regard me as though I'm some kind of alien. You charge 500 pounds an hour? Trish doesn't seem quite in control of her voice. They offered you full equity partnership? Melissa looks green. And you said no? Are you crazy? Don't read this stuff. I try to grab the paper. Mrs. Geiger, I just want to carry on as usual. I'm still your housekeeper. You're one of the country's top legal talents. Trish jabs the paper hysterically. It says so. Here. Samantha. There's a rapping at the door, and Nathaniel comes into the kitchen, holding an armful of newly picked potatoes. Will this be enough for the lunch? I stare at him dumbly, feeling a clutch at my heart. He has no idea. Oh, gosh. He knows nothing. Oh, gosh. I should have told him. Why didn't I tell him? Why didn't I tell him? What are you? Says Trish, turning to him wildly. A top rocket scientist? A secret government agent? I'm sorry? Nathaniel shoots me a quizzical look. Nathaniel. I trail off, unable to continue. Nathaniel looks from face to face, there's a crease of uncertainty deepening in his brow. What's going on, he says at last. Is something up? I've never made such a hash of anything as I make of telling Nathaniel. I stammer, I stutter. I repeat myself and go around in circles. Nathaniel listens in silence. He is leaning against an old stone pillar in front of the secluded bench where I'm sitting. His face is in profile, shadowed in the afternoon sun, and I can't tell what he's thinking. At last I come to a finish, and he slowly lifts his head. If I was hoping for a smile, I don't get it. I've never seen him look so shell-shocked. You're a lawyer, he says at last. All the light seems to have gone out of his eyes. Yes. I can't believe you're a lawyer. There's a hostility to his tone that I've never heard before. Nathaniel, I swallow hard. I know you had a bad experience with lawyers. I'm really sorry about your dad, but I'm not like that. You know I'm not. How do I? Here towards a sudden aggression. How do I know who you are anymore? You lied to me. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything. I thought you were in an abusive relationship. He bows his head, clenching his hands behind his neck. I thought that's why you didn't want to talk about your past. And you let me believe it. When you went up to London, I was worried about you. Jesus. I'm sorry, I wince with guilt. I'm so sorry. I just didn't want you to know the truth. Why not? What, you don't trust me? You didn't trust me? No, I say in dismay. Of course I trust you. If it had been anything else, Nathaniel, you have to understand. When we first met, how could I tell you? Everyone knows you hate lawyers. You even have a sign in your pub. That sign's a joke. He makes an impatient gesture. It's not completely. Come on, Nathaniel. If I'd told you I was a city lawyer when we first met, would you have treated me in the same way? Nathaniel doesn't reply. He's taken a few steps away and turned to face the house, as if he can't even bear to look at me anymore. It's all ruined between us, just as I feared. I can feel the tears rising, but somehow keep my chin steady. Nathaniel, I didn't tell you the truth about myself because it was incredibly painful, I say quietly. And because everything was so wonderful between us, I didn't want to ruin it. And because I thought you might look at me differently. Nathaniel slowly turns to face me, his face still closed and unforgiving. Like you're looking at me now. A tear runs down my cheek and I brush it away. This is what I was afraid of. The silence seems to last forever. Then Nathaniel exhales heavily as though coming to a conclusion. Come here. He holds out his arms. Come here. He wraps them around me, and I lean against his chest, almost overcome with relief. I'm the same person, you know, I mumble. Even if I used to be a lawyer, I'm still me, Samantha. Samantha Sweeting, corporate lawyer. He surveys me for a few moments. Nope, I can't see it. Me either. That part of my life is over. Nathaniel, I'm so sorry. I never meant any of this to happen. A bay leaf falls into his hair from the tree behind, and I pick it out, automatically rubbing it to release the sweet scent. So what happens now? Says Nathaniel. Nothing. The media interest will die down. They'll get bored. I rest my head on his shoulder. I'm happy in my job. I'm happy in this village. I'm happy with you. I just want everything to stay the same.